trying to manipulate this here. But let's just take a look at Jacinda Ardern, and do not forget that she was put in place by this gentleman here, Schwab, and he even talks about it. If you want to look at this video, Clarksville 2017, Young Global Leaders, he talks about putting all these people in place, including Vladimir Putin. In fact, I'm going to have to play it because otherwise people won't believe it.
To integrate the ambitions is part of the already since many years. When I mention our names, Mrs. Merkel, even Vladimir Putin and so on, they all have been young global leaders of the world.
Okay, so there you go. You just heard it out of his mouth before people start saying, oh, misinformation, or you're making this stuff up. Right, so here is Jacinda Ardern on the WEF website. If you want to look into this in more detail. While government hopes the tax will reduce livestock emissions by 20%, McKenzie argues that any reductions will be replaced by less efficient foreign farmers. So they're saying here methane is less abundant and does not linger as long in the atmosphere as carbon dioxide. It is a much more potent warming agent. Scientists believe methane is responsible for roughly 30% of the global rise in temperatures, despite being a fraction of the greenhouse gas emit. Okay, but you know what they also don't talk about? They also don't talk about where a lot of methane comes from. They're just blaming it all on animals and human beings, because a lot of other ways that methane comes about. And I would even love to show you all this stuff, but if you start doing searches, all the searches now are very much biased towards all of these agendas. So it's very difficult to get some of this other information that you might want. For a small to medium farmer, you're going to have to do weeks and weeks of administration and compliance, and it just doesn't work. We didn't get into this game to do that. So this is what they're being told. Farmers can either adapt and rapidly bring down their emissions, or they and everyone else will suffer more. That sounds to me like a little bit of a threat. But remember, there's all sorts of other ways that you can bring down emissions. Now, I'm no food expert, so I can't really comment on this, but I have seen dozens of these kind of articles where this headline is feeding cows seaweed could cut their methane emissions by 82%, scientists say. So if that is an option, why is it not being sort of put out on a mass scale? Since they're taking all of these orders and they're all going by the same sort of policies which are coming from above, and that is cull the livestock, get the livestock numbers down. Why not look at other things? Why not look at things like what food can be given to the livestock, or what other methods can be used in order to bring these methane and CO2 and whatever emissions down? Why are they just focusing on culling? That is the question you want to be asking here. Over to Sky News then. New Zealand farmers drive tractors on motorways to protest dirt tax levy on animals. This protested advertisement is quite amusing. Without farmers you will be hungry, naked and sober, it reads. Lobby group Groundswell New Zealand helped organise more than 50 protests in towns and cities across the country. These images are quite interesting. What society restricts food production? Exclamation mark, question mark. Absolutely right. This government hates farmers. Read this other sign. No farmers, no food. The future equals pine needle soup and lichen salad. Now the other thing I want to bring your attention to is we talked on yesterday's video about this rapid and expansive food inflation, especially predominantly focused on the UK, which was on average around 15%. But you know and I know that a lot of products are up 40, 45%. And you've got to think that's based on 1 year. They're not doing it based on back to 2019 before all of this started. They're looking at it and saying 2022, well this is what it was in 21, and these are the inflation numbers. Well, what about going back to 2020 or 2019? You would not see these sort of 15% number. You're going to see much, much more than that. They're deliberately trying to hide a lot of